Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics, known classics. This is episode number 1490 and Doubleshot number 1384. Before I get started here, I've been noticing on my videos getting a lot of people watching it, and it was the third episode of my review for How a Realist Hero Builds Rebuild a Kingdom. Currently, it sits at 218 views. I did not expect that video basically to do that much. I expect people to watch it, yes, but that many? Wow, over 200 people watched it. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Until my channel keeps growing because of that. Yes. Alright, now this one I'm discussing two Aquaman trades. First up, it is the miniseries Mera, Queen of Atlantis, a 5-issue miniseries released in 2018. Written by Dan Abnett, artwork by Lenz. Now, here's a fun factoid about this miniseries. This miniseries has a return of Ocean Master. Yes, Ocean Master, who had not been seen in comics since the end of Jeff Johns' run Aquaman back in 2013. So this is his first appearance in 5 years. Yes, did appear a couple of flashbacks during Jeff Parker's run, but they are flashbacks. But a physical appearance by the guy, wow, that is quite something. So what's the purpose of this miniseries? It's basically an explanation of where Mera got her help from, basically to take down a tyrant king, nobody cares about this guy. He basically is a dictator that the counselors had to put on the throne because they didn't care about Aquaman's policies. Yep. So in this miniseries, we also see pretty much also the first appearance of Mera's grandmother, which that's interesting. Yeah, she first appearance in issue 4, and here's the thing: she appears just in this miniseries, and to date she has never returned. Nope. We also see the return of Neptunus. He also is a character Jeff Johns created. He, of course, also not been seen since Jeff Johns' run. And it's revealed in here that apparently before Mera hooked up with Aquaman, she apparently was betrothed to this guy. But she called it off for the reason is because it would not have worked out. They were not a good match. Yeah, that was pretty much the reason for it. And, of course, we also have it where Ocean Master tried to claim the throne of Atlantis, despite the fact that Mera is a legally recognized queen at this point. And they are having a big battle, which of course she does challenge him, and he's like, I accept. Because she knows that, I think what Ocean Master is, he has not turned down a challenge. Oh no, he is one damn good fighter, and Mera wins. The reason why she challenges him, because, get this, he had promised his own sister to Neptunus. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. I'm not really sure why he's had to do it for. Also, in the first issue of this miniseries, we have the debut of a new character. Well, kind of in a way, he is actually from 2 volumes for this one. What character is it? This character is called the Eel. Apparently, he put a few times in Aquaman Volume 6. Yeah, he's a creation of Will Pfeiffer, believe it or not. Yeah, Will Pfeiffer. Thinking Will Pfeiffer, as in the guy who took over Teen Titans for Scott Lobdell. Yes, that guy. He created this character right here, which I did look up and see exactly what he looked like pre-Flashpoint, and not much difference. He looks exactly the same. Unknown, basically, well, he is technically an Aquaman villain, not a really known one per se. And apparently associated with Gotham, whatever. Of course, you have brief cast appearance by Superman and Wonder Woman. And, of course, we also have Mera going to visit, well, Ocean Master. Now, Ocean Master had been living with his widow, and with this woman and her son, who he became engaged to. That was when he was last seen in Aquaman Volume 7, number 25. At the end of Jeff Johns' one, he pretty much on the way retired Ocean Master. Had him sort of settle down, get engaged, Plus, I love seeing him in the Ocean Master attire. It is so awesome to see this. Now, if in fact that, well, when Mera does marry, well, of course. Okay, if you want to wonder what Neptunus looks like here, let's see if I can get a picture of him. Okay, that's him right there. This guy right here was once engaged to, once betrothed to Mera. She broke it off mainly because it wouldn't work. There was no match between them. And it's also in here that she was actually sent by her people to kill Aquaman, but she had fallen in love with him because everything she'd been told about the guy was a complete lie. Yep. And she can't exactly go after Corner Wrath right away at this point because her powers are slowly recovering. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so after, of course, well, and here's the thing. He has no choice but to agree to this challenge, mainly because the fact that, well, how should I put this? Well, he has no choice in the matter because it's part of Zabel law. And Oceanmasters loves a challenge. He, of course, gets beaten, but of course, the apparent engagement between Neptunus and Tula, Aquaman's, I would say because she's technically Oceanmaster's half-sister. I don't know who her parents, don't know who. My guess is they probably have the same mother, probably different fathers. So, or probably the same father, different mother, I'm not really sure. So basically, I think Tula is supposed to be Aquaman's stepsister. Yeah. But this miniseries, really good. It does lead the way into the final arc of, well, the column wraps up in issue 38. That's where it leads to. It sets the beginning and end of that particular, sets up the finale for that, because right after that particular storyline wrapped up, we had seeing Atlantis for 2 issues, and then the last 2 issues officially for Dan Abnett's run was Drowned Earth. And that was it. This book is really good. Give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. And as of right now, that is everything for Dan Abnett's run. I've technically already did my final thoughts on Dan Abnett's run, but here's the thing about it. It's an awesome run, and I do highly recommend it. Now moving on to the person run who succeeded him, Kelly Sue Honig. We have Aquaman Volume 2, Amnesty. This storyline here features the return of Black Manta to the series. Well, as far as I can tell, I think the last time he physically appeared was actually in Drowned Earth. You can kind of say this storyline here, which is Aquaman Volume 8, issues 40 to 52. All this does is basically sit for Black Manta Rises. Basically, the very next story that comes right after this one. That's what these 5 issues basically do. Pretty much in this storyline, we have where Mera announced engagement to Vanko, despite the fact this later be called off. Mera has found that she's pregnant. Aquaman gets his memories restored thanks to some underwater stuff. And of course, Mera herself does find out Aquaman being alive, and of course, they reunite. And, well, that's kind of it, per se. I mean, yeah, the people who he basically met in the previous story, they come back to Amnesty. Basically, he of course, once again makes Amnesty his home. Well, one of his 2 homes, anyways. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. It's basically a very fun story arc. And I like the first story arc, which I thought was okay. This one I thought was a big step up from the last story arc. Yeah, and this book has got, like, oh my gosh, you would not believe how many artists in this book. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 artists for 5 issues. You have, Victor Badavic, Robinson Ruka, Daniel Hercrinius, Eduardo Panicia, Julio Ferreira, Jonathan Glampin, and Ryan Wynn. The cover art here is done by Robinson Ruka, Jason Paz, and Alex St. Clair. Yeah. But if you think about it, in the case of this particular book here, by the way, I got one more book left. Look at this book, roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, the whole thing with Black Manta in here, that's simply put in a way just pure setup for the very next story arc. That's simply put what it is. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see here. I'm just looking up and see what could be the, well, let's see. There we go. Excuse me. So for pretty much this run here, you can kind of think of this trade as Volume 8 because, well, I don't think you count the crossover trades. So you can kind of say this is Volume 8, and actually it's Manta vs. Machine. That's the very next trade that basically comes after this one. Yep. But, yeah, there's actually just one more trade left for Kelly Sue Honig run. And it's basically Volume 4. It's kind of weird, though. I kind of reviewed this run completely out of order. Unlike, let's say, Dan Abnett's run. I most viewed it in order, with the exception I did review... I think I reviewed Underworld before Crown Comes Down. Actually, it was Crown Comes before I reviewed Underworld. Yeah, I kind of reviewed that out of order. But yeah, this is still a good book. And, well, it's kind of in a way, the best way to describe it, that Dan Abnett basically had a good run from the start. Basically, had plenty of steam for its run. Kelly Sue Honig had a slow start to it, but once you get to the second story arc of the book, it gets a heck of a lot better. It's almost like, in a way, the whole thing of Aquaman being amnesiac probably is not a long-term thing. Maybe, and this is my personal theory, maybe, and this, let's just say that Kelly Sue Honig probably planned this whole thing of Aquaman and some amnesia for probably a little bit longer, but my guess is DC probably told her to hurry up with it. My guess is because the sales may have had a dip they didn't like. That's probably the reason for it. That, or this is probably pre-planned for her to have him be a temporary amnesia before he basically go back to the traditional Aquaman stuff. Yeah. But this run is not terrible per se. Nope, it isn't. But I will get my final thoughts on this run when the final trade comes in from my library. Yep. So yeah, that's a particular review. Well, definitely stay tuned for Shaman King and possibly the start of a new in-review series, which will probably come out soon when I finish reading the book. Okay? Next video. Bye.